Well, I was captivated by a photo over the weekend. My wife said, look at this. Showed me a picture of Lewis and his girl Lauren and Gavin Rossdale from Bush. And her left hand is on Gavin's left leg, and her right hand you cannot see, but it's clearly way behind her back. And I just thought that was very interesting right after we did an interview with Gavin Rossdale. So let's talk about that coming up next. We got a couple clips from that interview as well.
It's the Morning Blitz.
It is 6:39 with Kelly, Lewis, and Rick, and posted up a picture on the Blitz Facebook page that Lewis had posted last week before we had Gavin Rossdale from Bush on the show. And it's a picture of Lewis on the left, his girlfriend Lauren in the middle, and Gavin from Bush on the right. And Lauren has her left hand on Gavin's left leg. He's kind of standing half behind her, like half of him is behind her. But Lewis, her right hand is like, you can tell it is bent way back behind her back. And you have the funniest look on your face, like you're just happy to be there. And I'm like, where's her right hand? And my wife asked me that. I saw somebody else online ask that. And I'm just, I was just curious. Where is her right hand? Because Kelly, like I said, Lauren has a huge crush on Gavin. In fact, I got a couple clips from the interview that we did with him Friday, which was in the 9 o'clock hour. If you didn't hear it, so during the pandemic, when we were doing all the interviews over Zoom, everything, and Lewis got the opportunity then to interview Gavin on Zoom and brought it up to Gavin.
But it was the one time during the pandemic where Lauren had sat around in pajamas most of the time. But the day that I Zoomed from you from the dining room table, she got completely dressed up.
You're welcome.
That's the best response ever.
Yeah.
So that's where she really got all dressed up because you were Zooming with Gavin.
For the record, I got to clear that up. I made that sound like she just lounged around and was lazy AF all the time.
Oh, she must have said something to him about
She
that.
did. But she worked all the time during the pandemic. In fact, she never had a day off for the most part. But when we were home, like so many other people, loungewear became the dress of choice. I mean, you didn't get, except for that day. Mm-hmm. That was the day that, it wasn't like that. And yeah, she does have a thing for Gavin. The last show I saw in 2020 before the world went to hell was Bush at Hard Rock or House of Blues in Vegas, where they did 16 Stone.
In its entirety?
Yeah, there's a whole... I was out there for a conference. Lauren's aunt lives out there, so she came out there with me. And when Gavin came into the room to say hi to us, I swear I still think she was in mid-sentence when she turned and went to say hi to Gavin. So, but I think in this picture, if I remember right, I mean, there's so much wrong with this picture. This stupid hat that I was wearing, my sunglasses on top the hat,
It's a great picture. It is like the best damn picture ever.
I believe my hand is holding her other hand, if I remember correctly.
But then why isn't her hand just down to the right?
I don't know.
Kelly, what do you think?
I think it's just a nice picture. I think you're really reading into this.
Thank you, Kelly.
I love the look on Lewis's face.
But
it's
listen,
priceless.
It does look like she's dating Gavin and not you, Lewis.
Yes.
That's what it looks like. It looks like she's cozied up to her boyfriend, and then some guy just came running into the picture real quick last minute with his little backwards hat on and glass sunglasses.
Okay, we've already established that the fashion choices weren't the strongest. I'm willing to bet my shoes probably matched, too, if I would look carefully.
Oh, that's fantastic.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the picture that caused Gwen Stefani to divorce Gavin.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Gwen's got a lot of money, though.
My gosh.
Yeah, I think that's where... I think the hand is being held. I don't know for sure. Or, you know what? No, you know what?
It looks like that her elbow's bent backwards, that maybe she's got her...
other hand on Gavin, too.
Right.
She really is real squeezed up against him.
Yeah. And it's so... Her elbow's bent so much, it's like she almost might be pinching his nipple with the right hand.
Now that I think about that, I think her other hand is probably on his leg because in every picture we take, I get cropped out. So if
is that right?
Oh, absolutely. So my guess is by putting her hand in the position it is with Gavin where he's standing, it's much easier to crop me out of said photo. In fact, there's probably another photo somewhere where I am cropped out of this. Yeah, I mean, there's a history of me getting cropped. I'm always the one, it's always my shoulder on her right. That's always, I'm cropped out of everything. So that could be what that was. That could be a designed way to crop me out.
I cropped you out already.
Thank you.
I'm just...
Not the first time.
That was a fun interview Friday. I really like talking to him about, because Gavin will get down in the crowd at concerts. He will jump right into the crowd, keep right on singing. So I had to ask him about that. I love you get down in the audience. I think that's so awesome. I wish more people would do that. Is that scary though? Do you have to judge the crowd before you do it?
Like, I always think to myself, don't go in the crowd tonight, because you don't want to be formulaic. You want to be always the guy that goes in the crowd, so don't do it. And then I'm on stage, and I'm at a certain point in the show, and I'm like, man, it'd be so cool to go on stage. I just crumble like a paper bag, and I just get right in the crowd. And I think, you can do it many ways. I do it, I go through the crowd, but it's really like celebratory, and just people lose their minds.
That's awesome. So how about the accent? Does that just make him even better looking, Kelly?
I'm not... Listen, I'd probably choose Gwen Stefani over Gavin Rossdale if I had to make a choice.
Blake
However,
Shelton made that choice.
Yeah. But yes, I would say in general, an awesome accent like that does make someone more attractive.
Okay. All right. I mean, a lot of girls like him. I got one more clip here. And again, this is about him getting down in the crowd and something Lewis brought up.
I don't know if you ever see it from your perspective when you're running through the crowd, but as someone who has seen you go through the crowd multiple times, have you ever watched how many women shove their husbands or boyfriends out of the way when you come into their vicinity while you're in the crowd?
Well, you just keep moving. I said the funny thing is, I do think the funny thing is that sometimes I do get what they, people come up and they say, "You're my whole pass," and the husband's like, "Okay."
Yep.
I have no part in it. I'm just standing there. It's just between those two. It's just their moment. It's always just a moment. Obviously, it is. I'm just like, okay. And usually the guy is really buff and looks really fit, and I'm like, I don't want to argue with this guy.
I can't even imagine how many times he has been told that he's somebody's hall. You're my hall pass.
I'm sure probably several.
Jeez.
I mean, here's the thing. He's a good dude, though. Like, he's genuinely a good guy, for the most part. I mean, granted, he, hooked up with a nanny and killed his divorce with Gwen Stefani. But take that aside, he's still a good dude.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, we didn't cover this in the interview, but I wonder if Gwen Stefani is pissed because we were talking about tattoos. Because if I remember correctly, I had just gotten a piece of my arm sleeve worked on, and he brought up tattoos, so we started discussing his arm tattoos. And because he's like, I was married for so long, and my wife didn't like tattoos, so I was never allowed to get him. And now, like, he's got one on his neck now, he's got both of his arms, has some work done, so it's like the divorce happened, and he was like, yeah, I'll show you. I bet he shows up to get the kids sleeveless, too. Just to hammer that point home.